after going through the inner circle and learning the ICO methodology in and out, I would say, what is the key takeaway that you get out of this?
For me, it was really organizing myself rather than worrying about what other people were doing. The main part of my job is making sure that information is in the right place for other people. I don't do a lot of the heavy lifting, so to speak, anymore. I have other people that do them. They handle all the welding, they handle all the construction, they handle all the procurements, but I have to organize all this information and get things back and forth to the customer. So aggregating data is huge for me, and having it in a location that makes sense for me, where I can see everything that I need to see in a format that works for me, has been basically my focus for the last month, rather than trying to pull someone else's system that works for them.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've been fighting for years is, well, this is the way Bob does it. Works for Bob. It doesn't work for Joe.
Yeah, well, that's a great insight. And that's already the next question there. So, has your view on the tool stack changed after using the ICO framework? So, you laid everything out on the ICO framework. So, was this helping you in this endeavor that you just described?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I need to redo and resubmit a tool stack for the community there, just because looking at some of the tools and testing some of the tools and going through some of the training that they had available, seeing their limitations and what were, for lack of a better word, not limitations, was hugely beneficial for me. A lot of the time, for my personal world, I'm looking at big drawings that have multiple pages, having to cross reference back and forth, keeping notes and stuff. And so rather than having individual files, shifting that stuff to Heptabase for my personal knowledge management, where I can see all the drawings in one layout, keep all my notes in, bring quotes in, and pop it right beside this drawing. This note references, this quote needs to reference with this drawing. These are where the parts are coming from. Here's my notes on this particular drawing in this space, rather than having that PDFs and lots of PDFs in a file, then having to open and close those, and then having other files with, more PDFs that kind of relate to the information, but no way to really say, yes, it does relate, other than in a similar file name. Yeah, that's been huge for me.
Well, that's great to hear for sure. So, that we are two coaches in these live sessions, what was the impact on this on your experience?
I'm a perspectives guy, and it's something I tell my children all the time. I don't know everything, but I know how to find out things. So having different perspectives, because I mean, you and Paco don't always agree on some of the best tools, and you use tools differently. So
Mm.
having somebody showing you, hey, two different tools, and say, well, I really like this one, I really like this one. Well, I use that one, but it's not my favorite. It goes to show that we all work differently, and that you really need to get out there and kind of experience for yourself. That's why these things have their trial periods, so you can get out there and see what's what. So I really liked having the different perspectives.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. So, overall, how do you assess the ROI from the inner circle cohort?
That's huge, mainly because I've taken the lessons and things and passed them down. It was huge in the one point when I told the story in one of the cohort meetings is, I was putting a workflow together for a basic project and highlighting the areas where my touch points were in red, and my boss happened to wander by and go, "What is that? What are you working on?" And I told him, and he was like, "Wow, you're in all these spaces." That moment alone was worth the value. you know, to the point where I have a new employee starting today that actually is going to relieve me of some stress. So, yeah,
Well, that's perfect. So this
yeah,
seems that you're already in the refine stage there.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
It's
exactly what we discussed in the coaching, right? That you could hire somebody, but without having exactly what this person needs to do and to
where
show
they're going to fit in. Yeah.
where's actually your bottlenecks and what are your overloaded. So that's great to hear that you came to this point after this month.
Yeah, it
That's
was
amazing.
perfect because he said, all right, I see where you're at, where you're touching everything. What can we take off? I was like, this one right here.
Perfect. Perfect.
We can hire
Great.
somebody with minimal training, and that will relieve a lot of things for me.
That's amazing to hear, Joe.
Yeah.
So, would you suggest the program to other busy professionals? Why or why not? I mean, after what you
Yes,
described, yeah.
absolutely, but they need to realize where their issues are, in the fact that you're not solving everyone's individual problems. You're not solving solutions. You're teaching people math, so to speak. You're not telling people that 2 + 2 is 4. You're teaching them how to add 2 + 2.
That's great. So, we teach you how to fish, not
Yeah.
over the food,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You're not giving out solutions. You're giving out techniques to solve problems.
Yeah, that's exactly our goal because we always say we will never do a done for you product.
Yes,
So
that's
we are
right.
not consultants, and we discussed this consultants as well, right? If they do it for you, they have to learn math first and before
That's
they actually
exactly
can do
right.
the
That's
consulting
exactly
for
right.
you. So that's
Because
why this is a done
everyone's
with
different.
you, and that was our approach. Yeah.
Everyone's different. There's really no one-stop solution. You're not
Yeah.
going to come up with a perfect solution no matter who you talk to, no matter what the application is. It was very interesting that, my cohort included a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of small business owners. And here I am as just a major manufacturer, but we had a lot of common solutions, but we had a lot of differences as well that we worked in. We had Rodel, who was basically a salesman and doing a lot of traveling, which was kind of what I was doing. And then we had people that were implementing, doing software and things like that and working with customers at that level, which is kind of what I was doing. So we all kind of integrated well together. It
Yeah,
was good.
I think that was an amazing team for sure. And
Yeah.
beyond the two coaches giving you two perspectives, there are even more perspectives from this. That's why we think it's more worth than even doing one-on-one coaching only. Well, Joe, thank you very much.